and that is what we're looking at right now on my screen. So this is just your average terraced house, and then we'll be making some changes to this. So once you've modeled your existing building, you can then mark up for demolition, select existing elements and mark them as to be demolished, which is represented by the little bulldozer in my renovation palette here. And then once you've marked up for demolition, you can actually start up modeling the proposed changes, which is represented by the little crane in my renovation palette here. So without further ado, let's start this process and take a look at it. The changes we'll be modeling to the building today will happen to the living room on the ground floor here, because we'd like to extend the living room to let some more light in and allow for some more living space in the living room than there. The same building also has changes proposed to the roof space here, which will now accommodate a new bedroom. Once I've gotten to the point where we see the proposed design, you'll see exactly what those changes will be too. So to start modeling the changes, the first thing I do is select all the elements that I want to be demolished, and then using the renovation palette here, I can turn them into to be demolished elements. So right now they're existing, but once I click the little bulldozer, these are now marked up for demolition. Because I'm looking at the existing building in ARCHICAD, I will not see the change happen immediately. However, I can use the renovation filters to look at different statuses. Therefore, if I'm looking at the demolition markup, I can ask ARCHICAD to highlight all elements to be demolished for me within the model. So I can see that the slab and the walls in the back garden will be demolished, as well as 2 windows on the rear facade replaced and the entire roof structure demolished as well. So if I'm asked to start modeling the actual changes, I can go to my ground floor plans, which get generated automatically from the 3D model, and then I can make sure that I change my default elements into proposed status, telling ARCHICAD that everything I drew from now onwards will be a proposed element and should be treated accordingly. So all I need to do to start the modeling is activate one of my tools and load the settings that I want to use for the elements. In order to make today's exercise quicker, we have defined favorites, which contain all the modeling information already, but these are easy to set up in a quick process. So using these very graphical custom dialogues, I can easily set up what kinds of walls, slabs, or roofs I want to model, and then the favorite is basically just a quick way of remembering these settings. So if I activate my extension sidewalls favorite, all I need to do is click at the end of the existing wall to start the drawing operation. Walls are set out from their reference lines, and I can tell that my wall is going on the wrong side of my reference line here, so all I need to do is flip the wall either by clicking that button in my info bar or pressing the P key on my keyboard. So all I need to do here is very quickly model up the extensions to the party walls, and then I can activate another favorite here, which is the proposed extension walls, which will be the rear-facing wall in the garden here. Again, I can simply snap 2 elements in ARCHICAD, and when the walls interact with each other, that in their intersections will get calculated automatically on a priority basis, but we're not going to go into that much detail today. But ARCHICAD creates wonderful automatic junctions here. Then all I need to do is model the extension floor as well. So I can go ahead and model the required flooring area here too, and then I can place a lovely new door to the background as well. So if I activate the door tool, again, we've set these up as favorites, but you have quite a lot of settings available to you when modeling these, so anything's possible here. ARCHICAD gives me very convenient snapping points, which I have complete control of. So I can tell that this door is definitely going in the middle of the wall here. So all I need to do is click once to confirm where the outside is and where the door will be in the wall, and then click one more time to confirm which way the door will be opening as well. The next step I need to make is model the roof for this extension. To do so, I'm going to change over into my first floor here. So all I need to do is right-click on the tab in the tab bar up top, and then simply select the first floor, which then activates the first floor view for me. Now, in order to be able to reference the floor underneath, I can use trace and reference to pull up a reference of the floor underneath, so I know exactly what I'm modeling here. Then all I need to do is activate my favorite for the roof tool, and then simply model the extension groups as well. So I decide which way the roof would slope if it was a sloping roof. This is only so that if we make changes later, these can be interpreted, and then I can simply draw the required flat roof here. I can now go back to my ground floor because I also want to model the lintels that support this roof here. So going back to the ground floor and turning off my referencing here, I can go ahead and activate my beam tool with the appropriate favorite to model the required beams to support the roof above. So what I need to do here is mark up for reference and then simply draw one of the beams here. And once I select this beam, I can use ARCHICAD's multiply command, which comes from edit, move, and multiply, to create copies of this beam at the appropriate distances within my model. This will be at 750 millimeters today. So all I need to do is click the end of the element and then just specify which way the multiplication should happen. I'll do this one more time so that I have an even distribution of all of the beams along the project here. The next step I need to do is insert the new skylights that are supposed to be placed in the roof here. To do so, again, I'm going to activate my favorite that I have predefined previously, and then I can use the step guide feature of ARCHICAD to mark up the center between the two beams here. Because if I mark up both ends of the beam in ARCHICAD, ARCHICAD will let me snap to their logical extension point here. So I can simply click there and then define which way the window looks within the roof here. I can then simply pick up this window again, use the multiply command with the same parameters, and then simply specify where I want these windows to be. So now that I have created this extension, if I now go back into my 3D window here, making sure that my renovation filter is looking at the proposed building, you'll see that all the changes that I've made in the ground floor plan have also happened in 3D simultaneously, because technically we're always modeling in 3D here. The last step I'll need to model on this building here today is include some parapet walls around this roof. Again, I will actually do this in 3D today. So I'll activate my wall tool and load the appropriate favorite, which we have set up previously here. And then I can simply use ARCHICAD's built-in snap referencing methods here to snap to the appropriate points within the model. And then very easily draw the walls in 3D, which then connect up appropriately with my structures here.